Hey guys, I wanted to make this video because it is September and that's Recovery Awareness Month, and a lot of people are sober curious or wondering if it's time to stop drinking. And I think there is one major fear that people have that might be keeping them from taking the first steps of going to a meeting or joining into a recovery program or even starting therapy. And it's a fear that I had, and that is the fear that there is some wounded, ugly, nasty part way deep down inside of me that's driving me to have all this dysfunction and unhappiness in my life. And that if I get honest and quit drinking and start trying to heal, that it's going to explode all out at once, like ripping the Band-Aid off, and it's all going to come out at once. All this stuff I've been afraid of that might be down there, and that it would overcome me, and that I might either go crazy or I don't know, but some awful thing will happen. And of course, that's part of the reason that we've been using alcohol, drugs, men, sex, etc., is to numb ourselves out from some of those awful feelings. And then, of course, using makes us do more things that we feel badly about ourselves about. And even during blackouts, some of us don't know what we did. So that's down in there, ooh, worried about coming out. But here's the message I wanted to give you. When you embark on a 12-step program, the place where you get to is that there's some power greater than you that can restore you to happiness and serenity and sanity, so that your life becomes one where you can give and receive love and not do the things that make you ashamed. So that means that you start the steps. And of course, everyone says, oh, these steps are spiritual and these steps are this or that. It's not really important in the beginning, especially how you think about the steps or this higher power thing. The main thing is there's something going on with the people that you're sitting with at meetings that is helping them quit drinking and improve their lives. So that same power that I'm just going to call higher power, you can call it universe, your higher self, your true self, God, however you think about your higher power. That power, once you do the second and third steps where you say, you know, I'm going to give it a shot, I'm going to let this power help me out in my life and guide me and do the good things that it's doing for everyone else I see around the tables. That is like a little agreement that you have with this bigger force, for goodness, that you're going to get the care that will help you grow in a manageable way. And so your higher power becomes like a really wise coach. So the wise coach would not say, you know, pick up the 10-pound weight, you know, tear the Band-Aid off and deal with all your worst fears all at once, which is what a lot of us think at the beginning, because they think if I could just get rid of all these awful things inside of me, I could be happy. But the first thing is to get sober, stay sober, get some kind of a higher power, and then start those healing steps. And the healing steps, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, those steps that help us clean house and get down to some of those causes and, you know, kind of ugly things, are guided by your higher power. So for me, it came in layers. So my first 4, 5, 6, 7 steps dealt only with the fact that I discovered I really didn't like myself and I had a lot of negative self-talk. And so I inventoried that. I looked at my fears, you know, not being like people pleasing, etc. And I got to my character defects and did the 7th step when I was ready and asked to be relieved of those. Then a year or so later, I became aware of the next layer. So my higher power had said, okay, we lifted the little 5-pound weight, now let's try the 6-pound weight or the 7-pound weight. So that's the next layer of my healing. In my case, it was looking at the dysfunctional family I grew up in and how that had affected me and all the characteristics of an adult child of an alcoholic, and healing those using steps 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then also the amends steps. There was another layer that I had no idea about, and that was more like the 10-pound weight that I didn't even become aware of in early recovery. It wasn't until I made it through these first few layers and gained some trust in this whole process of the steps that I then had revealed to me something deep down, some sexual touching that had happened, and it didn't come into my awareness until I had built, with my higher power and my supports in the 12 steps, my gals who were in my corner, until I had developed the, I guess, spiritual capacity or strength to face that issue. So the good news is, if you think there are some really ugly issues, don't worry about trying to find them and pick at the scab. Just do the steps and trust that your higher power, who comes through your sponsor and your higher power will guide. You will know exactly when and how and at what pace to heal whatever it is that has been bothering you. So don't worry about that issue of too much at once. It comes in a completely manageable order. So please don't let that fear get in the way of your starting the 12 steps. Thank you. Take care.